G'day Eagles fans, welcome to another instalment of Coast to Coast, the radio podcast, proudly brought to you by the West Coast Eagles Footy Club. Now video, have a look at your backdrop, big fella, it's all happening, the upgrades are real. We're a couple of simps just with some grey going on, but you know, a couple of great men bestowing us with their time in the studio, and two blokes, unfortunately, on two different paths of the 2024 season. We got Yeo here, Huey. Firstly, boys, welcome. How are we feeling today?
You go.
No, you go.
No, I'm good. I'm going through rehab right now. It's been a long 6 months, but to finally, come off the back of surgery and to get going and to be in the midst of all my cardios and stuff, feels good to be back.
But it's not just this year though, Huey. This has kind of existed for a little bit longer, right?
Yeah, I've had the problem for 2.5 years since my draft year, but it turned quite bad at the back end of last year, as in turned into stress fractures. So got that sorted, and to play without pain would just be beautiful. Beautiful.
How much help have you been to him during this time, Yoey? Or is it a bit like, mate, you're injured and it's mindset, like you'll be right? Or do you try and get in his ear a little bit?
It's probably a question for him to answer. Like,
Zero help. Do you want an answer? Zero help.
No sugarcoat.
No, like I feel like I've been a good support. Obviously, Huey's next to me.
So just by proximity wise, you got to
in the locker room, and that's about it. Just a shoulder to bloody cry on. That's about it, mate. I've been in that position. It sucks. Like, you just
what more can you say to a degree?
But yeah, like there's a lot of Huey's bounced a lot off me. A lot in terms of what he should and shouldn't do, and being in rehab and how to go about it. So yeah, I feel like as much as I can help, I've been there. But also it's a pretty unique type of injury. I don't think anyone's ever gone through what you've gone through. So
how does that make you feel when you hear something like that?
Yeah, well, the thing is, you don't really want like sympathy. Do you know what I mean? It's one of those things. The worst thing you can have is when you walk in a club and everyone's going, "Oh mate, how you going?" You know what I mean? You're just like, no, I just want to get on with it. Sometimes space is better, and I actually would rather people not ask me about it. Because it's like, imagine your whole identity being wrapped around your foot for the last 6 months. So you go in public and we go, how's your foot? You see your parents when I go home, how's your foot? Like, it's kind of the last thing to be asked.
You just have a stock standard response every time.
Oh,
really,
every time. Half the time it's just a lie as well. What would I say back? So I'm just like, I've just kind of come up with just a response, and it's blatant, and there it is. But
Huey, how's the foot?
Yeah, mate. No, it's been real good, mate. I'll be back next week, mate.
Can you relate to that? It's a very pertinent point that he makes, where your whole identity is sort of wrapped up in that. And when you go through what you've went through, Yo, because it was extended time, it wasn't just a year of it and then you're out.
Yeah.
You had a fair few years where that constant question comes.
Still the same. Like, everyone still asks me how my groins are today. It's like I haven't had any groin issues.
Is this from your OnlyFans, or this is
yeah, look, I can completely and utterly resonate with Huey here, because yeah, anywhere you go, anywhere you do, or see people or whatnot, it's the same thing. For him, it's his foot. For me, it was my groins through OP. And even now, like, no matter what, Huey would probably still get asked in the public about his foot 5, 10, 15 years later down the track. And even though that might not be the issue or anything like that, that's just, I guess it's just part of what you have to accept and part of being in the public perception as well. So yeah, you do end up having a just almost like a sheet that's just like a written response. Yeah. And yeah, Huey's obviously gone through that. I've gone through that. I think a lot of people that go through long-term sort of injuries in that sort of department end up getting a written response back to whoever it may be. But it is frustrating, and it can weigh you down. So the best way to sort of get through that is, how do you sort of separate yourself and kind of do your own thing to manage your mental sort of space.
You've had to be off legs for a while during this build-up process. What's the worst apparatus in that rehab room? Is it the grinder? Is it that one where you got to pull from the top down?
Yeah, well, Killy's been getting really creative with my workouts. I think the other day I had like an hour and 5 minute cardio combo, which is like, we brought the ski erg into the swimming section. I was doing like ski erg, jump in the pool, bust out fuel at 50s, and then get back on, and went for an hour and 5 minutes. But
hectic.
That things like that. But it's always good to get going. But as I said, I've been after my surgery. I mean, I've been off legs for like 7-8 weeks. So to actually be stimulated through cardio workouts, I'm happy to do right now.
Can I ask something a little bit behind closed doors? When you were talking in pre-season, doing a media interview, it got sent to me by a few mates of when you're talking about this emerging midfield group that you're now having to watch on the sideline. Did the teammates get stuck into you a bit for the Kerr, Judd, Cousin comparison of this upcoming Hewett?
I did, but they actually cut out a bit of it. There was an inference about that midfield in the question, which was cut out.
Oh, you're taken out of context.
Not necessarily, but kind of.
He was trying to back out of it. Like, he definitely did. I took a bit of... I was a bit cut. about it.
Why? Because you'd be the Drew Banfield of this scenario?
Like, we just won a premiership like a couple of years back, and
yeah, but it'd be weird
just
for me to say that.
completely and utterly just ignored us. Like, that's fine. Like,
You would be cut, mate.
Whatever.
That's the thing. Imagine it would be. I know you.
You seem to be enjoying your new little bromance partner out on the field. Looks very cute. There's some
well, I
connection.
don't have this one out there. So
And barely played together, but
yeah, well, exactly. So so we've got very good locker chat. Like, it's very funny. And if you're a fly on the wall in that, it's you'd be. I don't know whether or not you could say it, but you'd be pissing yourself laughing.
No, that's fine.
Yeah.
We'll tolerate that one. Why haven't you got any mad hand dap ups like?
I'm not a gangster. That's not the boys with the gangster. Not for me, man.
Not in for that.
Yeah, well done, mate. Handshake. You did your job. Good job. Well done. High five.
yeah, paid for that. Cool, mate.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't get paid to look cool.
I know Qatar's been covered a fair bit, but Gov went with you. Gov's in serious form. So, do you know some of the key defensive ranks that Gov is?
The club posted it. Yeah. We want to talk about it?
No, they were pretty good though, right? Like, he's going all right.
Yeah, but that's just Gov. Gov's a freak. It
is Gov. So I wanted to ask you, how much do you put? I mean, you've got to do the work. They're obviously going to. What was the program called? Or where was it again? In the Middle East? Aspetar. So they're obviously setting the markers and the objectives out for you, and you got to go and actually complete it and put the yards in. But how much are you attributing to that, to your diligence coming back and fulfilling what they requested of you, Matt Innes, luck, a combination of everything, killer?
Yeah. Oh, it's everything. Yeah, it's a combination of everything. It's not that one trip. So I was doing stuff with Killer for, with all kinds of different people. So, and from different sources as well. And then, you got the Matty Inner stuff, which he'll probably just manage. So it's a combination of everything that, touch wood, everything seems to be going well for myself, Gov, and Harry Edwards at the moment. And even Jamo was looking pretty good there for a bit. And I think he's going to be out for a couple of weeks as well. So it's not a big one. But yeah, all the boys that kind of went over there. It was a great trip. Yeah, it was awesome. And it was just probably the reset and the refresh that, a different set of eyes, different opinions certainly can help.
Who was the biggest mad dog you saw in the facility?
Oh, there was...
Did you go chasing? Just like, just a little something?
Nah, but there was some big dogs in there, like Faf Duplessis was in there on the Friday. So Friday's their day off. It's like their Sunday, I think. Mm-hmm. But for some reason... Ender was like, yeah, look, come through. I'll treat you on the Friday, but it'll be pretty quiet. So that was cool. But when I was in there,
Faf or not?
Nah, he was on the other end of the gym, and it was just us in there. And he was like, yeah, because there's so many Indians in Qatar, they must fly them over for work and stuff like that. That he was like, yeah, if they found out, if someone took a photo within 20 or 30 minutes, there'd be every Indian.
Really?
Like storming the building. Okay. So he had to come in on the day off when there was no one there, because there were so many sort of Indians that love their cricket, love it, that would be around, and the word would get out. And he reckons it happened one time, and he reckons the place just got swamped with just people just lining up trying to get photos. That's and stuff crazy. With him. Yeah.
What if they did the same though? Like Elijah Hewett's at Hungry Jack's Claremont after a big club session.
Well, man, very ugly. I'm just down the road, so if you want to see me, I'll probably be there.
Nah, what time frame are they giving you? Say post buy? Are they being very broad with post buy?
Yeah, no, it probably will be post buy. I mean, I've ticked all the barriers coming back from surgery. Again, you said it's pretty good, but again, I actually haven't had a preseason.
Yep.
So I got to tick those boxes. I mean, I came back, was doing some stuff with Yeo for about 4 or 5 weeks, and then that's when
Which is also hilarious, by the way.
Why is that?
Because I'm going to throw him under the bus here because it's funny. It's funny. Yeah. So Huey's like, oh, this is so funny. So Huey's running with me, and he's looking all right, like he's getting through. He's doing his program, like he's in good nick. And he's kept up with me throughout this one session. Sweet, whatever. Tells all the boys that he's flying.
I was fine.
Yeah, no.
Relative to me, I'm
hang on. You thought you were flying. Goes to the boys, mate, yeah, boys, I'm flying. Like, I've just come back. Smoked Joey, which he, didn't, by the way.
In the last
let's just
rep
put it
I
out
did.
there.
In the last rep.
All right, we'll get back to this, by the way.
The money rep.
Yeah, the money rep. But we'll get back to this and why he beat me in the money rep as well. So he's gone, boys, I'm flying, like I'm back, like I'm fit, I'm fresh and all that. I'll smoke yous. And the boys like, yeah, all right, like Witho and a few of the boys who are good runners and that. Like, come on, mate, come down Friday. We'll see you down at McGilvray on Friday. Let's go. Huey, first rep of the 5-minute run at McGilvray. Looking good, running with Witho and that. Huey, last rep of McGilvray. 2 kilometres behind Witho.
No, I'm walking at this point.
Walking. And puts the old, my foot's buggered. I'm done. Starts walking.
In my defence, it ended up being fractured. So I've been running with fractured feet. Shows my mental will. Basically, David Goggins out there, stress fractures. Honestly, I should have been like, you can't hurt me.
At what point did you think, I'm in a bit of strife here?
I reckon about second rep in when he's gone, I can't keep up with these boys, and he's lost about 400 metres in about 30 seconds and starts walking.
Yeah, overestimating it. Obviously, aerobic capacity is something I'm working on, but
Witho and the boys have
pain.
lapped him like 3 or 4 times around McGilvray, which is something like Huey's got lapped a few times and just put up the white flag.
Yeah, it's frustrating.
Did you run a bit of cross country at PSA land or not?
I did. Not.
But that
As a kid, I did.
Right.
And then when I used to be like 70 kilos, and then I went to 90 pretty quickly, and a lot of things changed.
When you gave up cross country?
I think it was just, I don't know, I think it was in year 12, I just put on like 8-9 kilos to try and compete at PSA, and then I put on a lot of weight quickly, and then...
It's interesting, eh?
Like muscle or going to Pizza Hut all you can eat?
No, just muscle.
Right.
Pizza Hut.
Right.
Yeah, that too. Hungry Jackson Claremont.
It's interesting though, like same thing, like when you're young and you don't really carry much, like
you
muscle or whatever, you can fly. Cross country, you can fly because you don't have anything. Muscle, you've got a little bit. You don't have any fat because you're just playing sport the whole time or whatever like that. But now it's like I'm carrying probably 20 kilos more than what I was when I got in the system, and it's just it's so much harder to run. Like if I was to go to cross country, I'd just almost turn to.
You're so much more susceptible to injuries as well when you're at 90 rather than like 80. Like the difference is actually huge when your body's carrying that extra weight, but it allows you more like a bull in the contest. So it's like you just got to find that line.
Yeah.
The ignorant part in me would have thought that you're building up these other muscles to curtail the extra weight that you're carrying. Like you're obviously going to have stronger glutes, stronger hammies, stronger calves to then anticipate the heavier load.
But there's only so much that you can put on before you start putting, like you can't make your tendons bigger. So there's like a fine line between putting on too much and putting too much stress on your tendons. Like this is stuff that you wouldn't even think about when you're a young kid, but then when you get in the system and people start to talk to you about it and being cautious about it all.
Yeah,
and just
bone stress is also huge with weight. Yeah. Like that type of stuff. You can't even feel like you could have an incredible preseason. You come out and you're jacked and you're feeling good, but you're 7 kilos heavier, and then your shins start to sore, and you're like, you almost got to. And they're really good about it now, especially all the modern technology, where you're going to be really careful with how much you put in each preseason, rather than come out one preseason and you're like Rubes and the biggest guy on the team. Not that he's had any problems, but that just makes you so susceptible. Well, yes.
Remember when Shuey did that though? Like Shuey had an off season where we went too ham and then came back and was in some strife to kind of complete everything because he was just too overeager and hammered the body too hard.
Yeah.
But what were the blokes doing in their 90s? Like this kind of ailment would still happen earlier in footy without the modern technology to pick it up.
Oh, yeah, I just think that the game now is just so quick. Like you look back and it was just more bash and crash. And there were big knocks, like no doubt about it. But the knocks now are like boys are just as strong, just as heavy, but they are like so quick. The game is so fast now. Like there's no room for if you're half a second off in terms of anything, your decision making or anything like that, you're caught. Like it is.
Shows what that one touch and how crucial it is in today's
game. Oh, massively.
Game.
Yeah, but it's always been important being clean. But it's because the game is so fast now. It's just so important that you're clean with the ball, but you use it well. Otherwise, if you don't, then it's coming straight back at you just as fast.
Yeah. There's a comp going on Saturday night that's kick across the Swan. Do any of you know how far that kick is or who you would put up in the team now to have the best chance at clearing it? Let's say it's 65 or 70.
You'd bet yourself, wouldn't you?
He's the longest kick in the chain.
I'd put my hand up for it. Yeah. If I can get onto a torp, like it's going.
Likelihood
I don't think there'd be many getting close. Maybe Gov.
What's your percentage of hitting the Nori perfect every time?
Nah, but you kick him far, but you belly a lot of them.
Nah, but I'll still so I'll kick him, and I reckon I'll probably out of 10, like 4 I'll get onto, and they'll go, and then the next 6 they'll still go 50, 60, but they'll be yucky, but they're still going. I'll float them, but they're still floating 50, 60 metres.
Mate, barrels all timing, absolutely all timing.
Yeah.
So if you can get his power, and he's just maybe takes a split second off it, but you get the timing right, it's like
the trick is almost not like when you kick a Tory, like you just want to belt the absolute crap out of it. That you don't want to do that. It's exactly like golf.
Exactly.
It's exactly like golf. You don't want to smack the absolute crap out of it. You just want to hit it perfect.
So I don't want to give away trade secrets to all the oppo that are clearly listening to our podcast, but have you got license to do that out of CBD, or is that too dirty a ball for any forward to try and handle?
I don't really have a license. There's not really so much a license. It's hard because a lot of the time when I'm getting the ball at CB or stoppages and stuff, you're under pressure. And you just want to clear it.
Gain territory.
Yeah, you just want to get it out of there as quick as you possibly can, because the game's just so congested that you just want to clear it and get field position as quick as you can. I'd love to, looking back at the days where you'd just get, 05 and the Juddy and Cuzzy days and that, where there was just so much space at a stoppage and you could just fly through. But you just can't, because there's just so much density around it now that it's a field position game. Just get it forward. Get to the next contest and go again type of thing.
Did you find that, Huey, when you were out there, of how little space there was to operate?
Oh, probably not as much. I'd back my speed from the contest, like burst out the stoppage. So I get what you're saying. You want to trap it in your front half, but Yoey also so many times, if you watch him, will get the ball and just boot it, and that's not necessarily that's probably the right thing to do at that point in time. If you have the ability to get a few metres and burst out, I mean, you've seen Harley do it the last 2 weeks. Then do it.
But that's out of CBs though. So out of CBs is good.
Are you talking about CB?
No. Like, I'm talking like stoppages and that. Out of CBs is great because it's 4v4 and no one can go in that vicinity. It's great. So, and especially if you've got a dominant ruckman or Baz's on top or whatever like that, or when we had Nick, like it was the same thing. Boots, myself, Redo, even like back in the day when Nick was on top, like we were flying out of CBs. Like it was great, but because you got so much space. But it's stoppages and stuff like that around the ground. It's just
backs come up and
forwards come up, backs come up. There's just
in.
wingers come in. It is just like it's almost like 12, 15 people around the ball.
And you hate it.
Yeah, well, yeah. Because you'd like to have some space and you'd like to.
It's not as much fun game to watch for a spectator point of view either.
It's just how the game's evolved.
Yeah, I dig.
Yeah.
Miller, Anderson, Rao, and Witts. Is that the best mid in the comp, you reckon, Yoey? At the moment.
Oh, we haven't come off of playing them. Yeah, they're pretty solid. There's probably, Gawn, Petrarca, Oliver, Viney. That's a pretty good midfield too. Rosie, Butters, Wines.
Who's their ruck though?
Soldo. He's not bad. He's not bad at all. He's a pretty good player. So, yeah, there's some pretty good midfields out there.
What was so challenging about the way they played on the weekend, particularly around stoppage?
Oh, it was tough. Witts he's just such a big boy. So, and poor old Baz he's given up 10 centimetres as it is already on height and probably about 10, 20 kilos in weight as it is. So he's fighting like hell. But
so you've got to be reactive in those CBDs, mate.
Yeah, unfortunately. Oh, not so much centre bounces because Baz has got a good leap on him. But even then, like, Witts was quite clever.
Even in the fourth quarter, his tactic to just go and stand next to him in the fourth.
Yeah, very clever. So a fair bit of smarts as well. But yeah, it felt like, I said it earlier this morning too, but it felt like Witts just has like those go-go gadget arms where his arms are longer than they should be type of thing. So he's tapping the ball from probably like 3.5 metres up in the air, which is just, it's hard. It's hard to do, and we were probably just too reactive and we gave away too many frees. So I think we gave away 15 free kicks from CBs and stoppages, which is just like, how do you get your hands on it from that point? Yeah. And then on top of that though, you end up putting a lot of pressure on your backs because they get that automatic kick anyway. And then from that point on, you're trying to play catch up and move the ball from your back half, which is just, it's hard to win games with football from there.
Did you watch the game on the TV?
I did.
Did you see the fan copping the footy to the head late in the game behind goals?
No, what time? How long late into the game? Because I think I turned it off.
Quarter, and I was meant to bring the laptop in to show you.
Were they paying attention? No, surely.
No, but like I'm playing it now for the video. But the funniest part is when I think it was a girl got hit. She's fully disappeared behind the chairs, like just absolutely KO'd by this.
How old?
No.
I don't know. I should have brought the clip.
You shouldn't be laughing as well.
No, it was hilarious. I'm sure she's alive. I'm sure she's alive. So we can have a bit of a yarn.
But again, like you're at a ground, and there's ball. It's a ball sport.
Yeah,
I can't remember if she attempted to mark it and then
Oh,
cooked
If
it.
she attended to mark it, that'd be worse. Like,
Yeah.
Look,
get a hand to it.
worst thing is the fans are watching this now and we're not. So that was poor from me. The big Loosh, 100 games. Son of 100 games. Lift, Bandy. He kicked 100 goals for the club.
Oh, brother.
Good work.
That's cooked.
Are the boys calling him the Duck or is he calling himself the Duck?
Self-proclaimed.
Self.
How does that go around in the change room?
And then he basically says who's going to play on the loosh as well.
Yeah, he does say that.
He says that a lot. So yeah, I mean he's 2 off of Coleman at the moment, so
Yeah.
he's riding high.
His first 3 goals were snaps and check side. So
They were good goals as well.
unreal.
They were pretty good. Yeah.
all right, that's it. Liam Ryan, he returned for the first time since the 2023 Derby, the chaos car crash demo.
Can we get back to the old Huey story about trying to flog and how well he was flying in the run?
You got more to add?
Yeah, well, yeah. There's also a reason why that he beat me in 1 rep of like.
Just start from here. Just start from here and go.
There's also the fact that Huey in 1 running session early in the week couldn't complete because I mentally and physically broke him.
No, he hadn't.
Broke
By the end of
him.
I was beating him.
Let's
He knows
get
it.
let's
He
get
knows it.
hang on. Let's get Killer in. 'Cause
Yeah, we will get
Killer.
The last thing in the world Killer will want to do is be on a
No,
radio.
he will.
He
come
will
down.
confirm this, and a lot of the boys will confirm
Will
this.
Killer confirm
We did
this?
8 sessions together. By the end, I was beating you. Don't lie. Swear in your career.
I'm swearing on my career.
No, you're not.
I'm shaking
no,
on
you're
it.
Not.
I am.
No, you're not.
Because you know I'm right.
No, you're not. Not by the end of it.
He knows I'm right.
Okay, you may have
Let's-
broken me the first 1 or 2.
No, I broke you so bad.
No, you didn't.
Yeah,
No,
I broke
didn't.
you
No,
so
didn't.
bad that you.
We'll get footage. We'll
hang
get
on.
footage. We'll go get the.
That's
Oh, is that
fine.
my job,
We'll
is
go
it?
get the.
That's fine.
The
I broke
Matrix
him
footage,
so.
mate.
I'm
Sweet.
mentally. I'm still in his head rent free,
Matrix
as you
footage.
can tell.
When I
tell
come
me how
back
it
this
went down.
preseason.
Yo, I'd love
We'll
to
be back.
before old mate here gets a little bit defensive because it's true.
This
Like,
preseason, we're not
facts-
back.
Facts
You
don't
can
have
come down
feelings.
and
Give him a moment.
Facts don't have feelings. Let me finish the story,
He
Huey.
thinks he's Ben Shapiro, mate.
They don't though. Facts do not have feelings. And the fact of the matter is that I mentally and physically ruined you.
He didn't.
I did.
No, you
So Huey on the Monday, he's come down running with me. And
Is this post
Stop.
UWA?
no, this is just before.
pre,
This is pre UWA.
Imagine, I've got stress fractures through this, and I'm still pushing through it. Like, it's incredible what I've done.
That has been noted. That
Like,
you're
seriously
hero
incredible.
balling right now.
Honestly, I can't believe
And
I've gone
everyone
through
will
this.
remember that.
Yeah.
But continue with where we're going.
Anyway. So back to my.
Go.
So we're running. Huey's failed to complete the session because I've just cooked him,
Yep.
and he can't keep up.
Failed to complete. Which one was this?
The one where. The one where Killer spoke to you in the storeroom.
No, that's because my feet. I said my feet were too sore. They end up, mate. I've just had surgery.
So was Killer bullying you to get back on the track?
No, he was just like, "Why? Yeah, your feet sore." And I was like, "Mate, I don't know what it is." And then that's when I stopped. Like probably a week after that.
Story of
And
the
I've been
matter
done
is
since
that
then.
whenever like the going got tough and Huey was talking a big game and how well he was going and that, and then when push comes to shove, his foot was sore, and he's probably got a valid reason now.
Warranted, yeah.
But also, like, if you're gonna talk the talk, walk the walk, buddy. Like walk the walk.
My thing is
Can I hang on? Can I finish? Can I finish?
copped a
Can
lot
I
through
still
this
haven't.
period.
I still haven't finished.
and
the
for me to
story.
come have surgery and to come out the back end has proved to everyone that it was real. People didn't believe, oh, you're tired, you're tired. Stress fractures.
I feel sorry for the. I feel
teammates.
sorry. I feel
Stress
sorry.
fractures
I
are
feel
pushed
sorry
through.
for the people at home, like listening to this.
Stress
because
fractures. Try and do that for 6
This is
months.
car.
2.5
This is car
years.
crash. This is car crash podcast.
Come on. You're almost there.
Yeah, I'm almost there. So he's copped it, everything like that. Had a Wednesday off. Came out on the Friday, like, oh yeah, like, no, I'm okay, I'm flying and stuff like that. Ran with me and beat me in the last hero rep. of a shuttle.
I was so happy with that. He'd walked out just
Of a shuttle rep, and unbeknownst to everyone at home was that there was a heap of reps that we had to do before that, and I've smoked.
No, you haven't.
out
I was
the
right
park.
behind you. Don't lie about that.
In the fart leg, in the 200s, in the 200s and the fart leg, you were nowhere near me.
I was right behind you.
No, you weren't.
Right
No, you
behind you the whole thing.
weren't. You were right behind me at the start because I could hear you.
I remember this whole time.
And then about 20 seconds in, you're halfway across the oval. I wasn't even looking back. I was looking to the side because you're on the other side of the oval. So
Can't help himself.
then all of a sudden we get to the shuttles and I'm like, oh, well, Huey's cooked here. And I'm absolutely gassed. Like I'm foot to the floor. Get to the last shuttle. Huey started flying this shuttle. I was like, where was this in the fart legs, mate, in the 200s? He's like, nah, Simo's watching. Gotta look good. He's like,
Save something in
I've
the
just
tank.
taken him out. Not only that,
You never
it's
know.
like being come to the last thing, Yoey's just like dropped to the floor and I'm like, all right, this is my time. Did it, and then I took shit to him right off. I've been pretty happy with myself as well. And I've walked straight into the
it's
gym.
got me on one rep the
I
whole
walked
time.
into the gym, lifted some big weights, and just went home. I was like, job done. Being
Retire,
paid
mate.
for it. Let's go, boys.
So good.
Yeah,
So,
but-
and Simo thinks I'm a hero.
Yeah, for the 9.5K before that, he was getting abused by Killer because it was on treadmill.
Liam Ryan, he's returned. Good to knock the rust off. But where I'm seeing Liam Ryan most is not nerd factor. They finally, this is only for you because you're a bit nerdy like me.
Yeah.
They've only finally just played a replay of his mark against Max Gawn on the telecast with no like graphics, McDonald's, live box sponsor, like anything in the way of it. For a nerd like me, we don't just get given the vision from the AFL of when you guys do something. Like if he has the best ever bump in his career and takes someone out and they don't have a good angle of it, I can't get that camera that's captured of the great angle because we don't have access to the vision as the footy club. It's one of the biggest jokes of all time.
Really?
Like I've worked in enough broadcasting trucks where they will make what's called a melt. It'll be 13 minutes of the best action shots and the best angles, and they send that to Fox, send it to 7.
And they sent it to you guys.
No.
Really?
So like
Why is that?
Liam, because they're the owner of the
So
game.
you don't get rights to that footage.
No.
But that doesn't make sense because then you'd want to post.
But you own us players, so don't you?
I think it's the broadcaster of the game. Like it's
you don't own us.
a tricky one. So
No, but so do they get the rights because they pay for it? Is that why?
yeah, they're the broadcasting, partner. And if it's a Fox game, then they have rights to that game. And the only thing we can get is siren to siren type stuff, or what the broadcaster shows on a 7 game. We now have the ability to capture. But I've never had a copy of Ryan's mark against Melbourne, against Gorney, that doesn't have like the umpire taking the ball back to the centre in the main shot of it. So if we're doing like a Ryan farewell piece or 100
You can't get that
games,
clip.
it's just like, who's this bloke in the middle taking the ball back to the other umpire? This other box that's here, or it's a big like McDonald's, like have a happy mark, Liam. It's like, what is that?
But you could surely you just gone to YouTube and cut
No,
the
but
video
that's all they're getting.
That's all they're getting too.
Unless you're the broadcaster. Anyway, they dropped Liam Ryan's mark on this week's game, and Nerd Bandy was like, cheers. I've waited. How long has it been since that grab? Anyway, sidetrack. Finally got that
Good
clip.
on you, mate. Well done.
Thanks, mate. It was a big
Well done.
moment.
Yeah.
But where I'm seeing Liam Ryan more than anywhere else is not there. It's on Instagram,
Yeah.
plugging stuff.
Oh, that is some funny. It's started off as like the world's.
Can you tell me how that's going now?
Yeah, well, it started off as like one of the world's funniest sort of promos that he's ever done.
Yeah.
So I think he went into Rugs R Us or something, or Rugs Bazaar or something,
Rugs R Us.
and bought a rug or something like that. And then from that point on, it's just evolved.
Yeah, but he's been made
into-
famous from Dank Orange's post. Like Dan's made it even funnier.
Yeah.
When did he
Dan's.
post something?
Have you not seen that?
No, is it
'cause
recent?
Dan made a clip of most of them, put them together, of both of them. Was it 2 of them?
He did twice.
I think something like that.
And you just see him, come 50% off, come here.
Yeah.
Do you think it's-
as Liam Ryan, I like my carpet. Come down to Rugs.
Like no facial
Bazaar,
expression
like
whatsoever.
just
Would teammates get stuck into him, or do you leave Liam alone in this space?
nah. We all joke about it. Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Would companies now leverage off of that being a thing?
They already have.
Do you think that's why they're doing it?
They 110%. They already have, and it is hilarious.
Well, the person they're leveraging is.
It's so funny. Street X
9.
have done it. There was another one.
Do you
that
think
started doing
Street X do it-
Capone Inc.'s done it now. They've jumped on. He's
yeah.
like, "G'day, Liam Ryan here. As you know, I love my carpet, but I love my ink more." So it's gonna start down to like this new thing now. Is "G'day, Liam Ryan here. As you know, I love my carpet, but I love this
He's
more.
taken it well, to be honest. He's done well with it, to be honest.
Oh,
He's
it's
taken it well.
great. It's awesome.
How intentional was it from the get-go?
Unintentional, just unintentional humour that is just, it's typical of Liam that something like that would happen. And now that he rolls with it, it just is 10 times better. So much
Yeah, he
fun.
does roll with it.
Yoey, 200 AFL games. I know you like to be a club celebrator at this point, where you'd rather acknowledge the club milestone, but 200 AFL's pretty great. I know Jack's playing 300 this week because they're including pre-season.
Well, that's live member.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm sure there are some perks that come along with 300 AFL.
Yeah, there is.
What comes with 200 AFL? You get a couple of grand final tickets.
Nah, so I got my 200 AFL last year or like the year before, I think.
Oh, because your preseason game.
Because they count pre-season games.
What do you get for that?
I think you get 2 tickets to any game for the round. If that makes
What if
of
it's
each
sold
round.
out? Do
You
they
don't
just-
get grand final tickets, but
Yeah, I think you get 1. I think you're entitled to get 1 grand final ticket.
What if it's a sellout? You got to tap like Betty on the shoulder
Nah.
and be like, sorry, mate, you
So-
seen this life member ticket in?
Yeah, so I think from what I've been told, and this is what Scully's told me, because I haven't gone through it.
Oh,
the
Scully's
process
got
just
it.
Yet. Yeah, so Scully's got it. So he said that it's the start of the week. I think like a Monday or Tuesday, something like that. You have to nominate what games you want to go to, and then they'll send you the tickets. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Rather than like
Logging on the day.
rather than having like a golden ticket or whatever like that from Willy Wonka or
Mm-hmm.
whatever, you go, here you go, I'm rolling in. I can do
No, I
whatever
just
want.
got
200.
his 300.
What does that give you?
300 gives you obviously the grand final tickets.
You get
Previously,
2
you
grand final tickets.
tickets.
Yeah, but I think it's
I think I'm pretty sure he might have unlimited tickets every round because he was telling me he would just send his tickets to his mates over in Melbourne for their games. So you might have like a pass or something. I don't know.
Sounds
That's the
pretty-
same. That's the same thing. You
You
log
just
into like
log
this
in, yeah.
online thing, and then you click what games. But you might
Pretty
get
handy.
instead of 2, you get 4. I don't know,
Yeah.
something like
Yeah,
that.
but will you watch football post football? Would you go to games? It's not really
I
your
think
personality.
live I will. Yeah. At the moment, I find it hard to. I find it hard to watch games on TV, and I always did as a kid. Like I'd love to go and watch them live, but I'd always struggle to watch them on TV. I don't know, because you want to see how the game's going to evolve and what's going on a bit more, and it's hard to see it on a tiny screen. Well,
Yep.
They're not tiny anymore.
I'm
They're not showing what's
opposite.
going on.
TV's back in my day because I'm that old now.
The rabbit ears.
Yeah, the bunny ears, and like we're talking, if you had a 22-inch TV, you're like, oh man, that thing's massive. Like you'd be huddling around this TV, like.
So
you
when
won't-
you're at the game, you can't actually see. Like when you're on this at home, you actually get a zoom up and it shows everything. When you're at the game, you're watching from 100 meters away.
Yep.
It's if you're in the nosebleeds.
Yeah, but that's where 99% of the fans are.
Yeah, yes and no. You can still like Optus is pretty good. Optus is pretty good.
Yeah, it is good.
To,
It is
to
good.
view.
Yeah.
to
You
view
can
the
get
game.
vertigo. You're going up those. The
Yeah.
back of the
Well, it
stands.
feels like Etihad's really good too because it's so steep
Very
that
similar.
you feel. Sorry, Marvel. You're right.
I fall into that trap a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it's so steep, you feel like you're right on it, even though you're 30 rows back.
You're a big sportsman. Do you watch much footy outside of what you have to?
Nah, not really. Not like a footy head. Like I've probably come to love the game a lot more since I've been here. But previous to that, like, just been watched a lot of baseball as a kid. Obviously playing baseball, and I don't know. Just kind of. I've never really been a massive. I love playing sport, but watching sport's never really been me. Like I just can't sit down for too long. You know what I mean? Like, hence playing my bottles. Hence, I mean, Yoey's pretty similar. So, it's something I'm trying to work down. But as I said, I've started to love the game a lot more and watch it and be more interested in the intricacies of football. Getting better.
Yeah. Okay.
Kind of hard though, because as well, when you're here, you watch a lot of footy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You watch a lot.
I remember
of football.
talking to Eric McKenzie about it. He goes, I'd ask him something cavalier and been like, did you watch Friday night's draw? He'd be like, Thumper, I have no interest in
Yeah.
watching
That's
any
facts.
more football than what I currently have to
If
watch
it-
right
yeah,
now. I was like,
yeah.
that's a fair point.
Yeah, it's
Because we probably watch an hour of Vision a week. Maybe
more,
do you reckon
way more.
And then you add on top of that, you might go to your own individual vision as well. And then all of a sudden you rack up 2.5, 3 hours a week. And then it's like, all right, now I'm going to go. You're just like, nah. And you want to spend it with mates.
It'd be like a lawyer coming home and then
watching a law case.
watching law cases, and like if you love it, that's great. And I love it, so I'll watch. If it's going to be a good game, I'll watch a good game, and I'll make sure that I watch that. But
But you don't watch every game for the round.
you're not going to watch every game. Yeah,
Not many fans of that turbo. Do you remember, I'm going well back here, do you remember the 2011 draft and the feeling of, that was the GWS draft, right? Or one
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
the main one or one of them?
Yeah.
and some of the names that were slipping. You're a big Freo fan back in the day, and you remember who? Don't look at me sheet.
Yeah, I do. Yep.
You remember who got picked before you?
Vividly. Yeah.
Who?
Tell me what.
From to Freo.
Well, yeah, you give me the picks of where they went then. See how good your memory is.
Were you a Freo fan?
Yeah, mad Freo.
Were you?
Yeah, but I
really?
was never confident that they were going to pick me.
Why is that? Because of the meetings prior?
Yeah. You just get a feeling that I'm pretty sure I still had a meeting with them, but it just didn't feel comfortable. Same as West Coast and that. At the time, I think they were like, look.
What was your form like for the Sharks at the time?
It was pretty good. Yeah. I was playing some pretty good, consistent football, especially the back end.
In the mid?
Colts midfield. But I think West Coast were like, look, you're a WA boy. We think you're probably gonna, if you're there around, the third round, we'll probably take you.
Right.
But then I had a really good carnival, like the draft combine. You do all the testing and that, and then I think that probably put me up a bit higher.
So who went and when did they go?
Forster, 28. Crozier, 23.
Yep.
Is that right?
No. Close.
Something like
Crozier
that.
went 20.
Yeah.
West Coast had a pick at 23.
Yeah, that was Muzz, I think.
Who's
And
Muzz?
Murray Newman.
Fraze. They picked Fraze as well.
God, that was...
But he was later. I think he might have been a bit later.
Who went pick...
No, Fraze might have been just before me.
Who went pick 58 in that draft?
Look, Neil.
Yeah.
Well done.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
That's a great pick.
Scandal. Tommy Sheridan went pick 16.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the greatest pick of all time, Govett pick, rookie, what was number?
Oh, I couldn't tell you, but even...
38
rookie-
or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good pick.
That was outrageous.
That's just ludicrous.
So was Pritter, but I think I was probably
What was
surpassed that.
Pritter?
He was in the rookie draft.
Yeah, he was.
Really?
Yeah, he
Chad
was rookie.
Fletcher was rookie draft.
Yeah. Gosh. Coxie, rookie.
Yeah, Coxie's probably like the ultimate.
Do you reckon?
Yeah,
Coxie couldn't run a lap properly at Subi when he came. Like his fitness was atrocious.
Was he just like developed really well? I mean, that's so far beyond my way before me.
Just
Before I was even born,
Ruckman,
probably.
man, like they just take forever.
But he revolutionised it by being a fourth mid of his running capacity. But to think that you start at somewhere like you were here when
I always heard he was always a good 400 metre runner. Is that true though? Or was it just a rumour? Like
I don't know that one. I don't know. But like you remember some of the I can't remember how early you got here. I've been here too long. Where they were doing all sorts.
14. Got here 14.
No, they might have been earlier than this when like Tony Knott was on the list, and they were doing things like creating the
Is this when you were getting people to throw like apples and stuff at you?
yeah,
Thumper was doing some
which include
outlandish.
Corey Adamson. You know
Yeah.
him.
Oh, yeah.
Thumper was getting the boys to do some outlandish stuff.
Seeing him throw an egg at my head with it just to catch his mid on.
Does he have a good arm?
He's a pitcher.
Yeah.
No pitcher.
No, he wasn't. He wasn't pitcher, I don't think.
Felt like
He's shortstop.
man on live flash before mine.
Yeah. Some of the stuff Thumper had to do it like made.
I didn't have to do it. I invented it for
Yeah.
humour.
Yeah.
But they used to make players like sleep in. Is it the hyperbaric chambers?
Yeah,
Like
the altitude
sleep
tents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was like to get their fitness better, and to some people just couldn't reach that level. And then you got some bloke here that can't complete a lap, and he turned out to be one of the best running ruckmen
Yeah,
of all
but
time.
in amongst that midfield, you'd hope you'd be a pretty good runner.
Yeah. Bombers Saturday night. So they're trying to get the scarf tradition going hard. So I was just trying to explain this to Jake Waterman around the club today. So Jake's father played in this game. Are you aware of why Essendon and Eagles have a big...
No clue.
Yeah, so I think I do.
Go on.
Well, Sheeds, it was like a big build up for the game, hey, and then Sheeds, I can't remember in terms of like the intricacies of it, but I do remember seeing the footage of Sheeds walking down from the coach's box and he was waving his jacket around, and then from that point on, it just like
Is this the game
caught on.
James Hird kickback snap?
I don't think Jimmy
Nah.
was active too much in 93, which is when it happened. No, that's when he hugged the crowd member. That was all-timer.
Yeah.
This is just like a random home and away game in Melbourne, and
He's just done
Sheeds
this.
has lost it and coming down from the box and just starts like almost hitting patrons
People,
in the
yeah.
head with his jacket.
Clan. Yeah.
And then since then, whichever fan base wins the game, their supporters just go ape with swinging anything.
And that happens every time we verse them.
Yes.
I didn't even recognise that last team we versed them.
So I'm telling Jake this, and his dad played in the game. He's like, I have no idea what you were talking about, Thumper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was too young. I was like, oh, God. So anyway, they're trying to bring it back. So anyone listening, bring something. Trying to do the jacket because there's some zips, there's some hazardous.
Do it from the players' box. I'll just be stringing my thing.
I miss that. I miss that when the coaches would come down from Subiaco
Yeah.
from the box, and then they'd have to walk through the people.
You know where the biggest walk is that they do, I reckon, is Adelaide.
Adelaide, they do it. Yeah,
That's a hike. And you're
Yeah.
going through some pretty, like, a lot of crowd members to get there.
Yeah.
So I remember when we won the game in 2018 when Gov kicked the goal and the coaches are walking through. It's a big walk and there's a lot of time for supporters to say stuff to them.
Now they get in a lift, go to ground level, and then just walk out on the ground.
Yeah. Very protected. Very protected. All right. I'm pretty much going to go to fan questions. You got anything else? Oh, hang on. What about your engagement? End of 2023 with Tess. Congrats, Mad Dog.
Yeah.
Growing up, you know.
I know, right? Yeah.
Any details you can drop for the mass public that are hanging out for wedding news? I'm sure they're lining up.
Nah, look.
Got a venue picked? A date?
Nah, we're probably going to look. Things are on hold at the moment. That's purely based on the fact that I don't have a contract at the end of the year. So I said, we'll wait and see. We could be having it at the Broken Hill, or we could be having it down. Could be having it down south somewhere. So
Big cracking venue for it out the back there.
Yeah.
I'd enjoy it.
So yeah, things are on hold now until we can sort of I know what's going to happen and all that. So
Would you be scared of the Bucks party? Would there be a bit of fear involved in it?
nah.
Why is that? You got responsible mates, do you?
Yeah, I feel like I've got a really good set of mates that just wouldn't let things get out of hand.
Give me your groomsman.
Be
Your brother would be one?
brother would be best man.
Yep.
Yeah.
Does that have to happen? Like, is that?
It doesn't have to, but I'm close with my brother.
Only two siblings in
and
the
then-
family? Or have you got a third?
No, just my brother.
That's what I mean. When you've only got two.
Yeah.
And you're
All right, keep
both.
going.
And then just a few of my schoolmates.
No one from the
So-
club.
Nah.
Deep.
No. So, which is that's all right. Like I'm really like my schoolmates were really really close.
All right. Let us know when the Bucks is. We've got a few fans there. We'll hope something. We'll do it. Oh, the only other thing I wanted to touch on was when TB was trying to get off the tribunal and couldn't. Scully's back chat was running like a hilarious campaign of free TB and whatever, and they had one section of it. I'll give Scully some shout out. They had like a send in your best TB character reference for him to get off. Some of the suggestions were great. So I was like, TB built the hospital he was born in.
I love these memes. I love these memes.
I lost my wallet and TB gave it back to me with more money in it. TB won the Nobel Prize but gave it to the runner-up so they'd feel better. And TB filled in for me the day of my wedding when I couldn't make it.
That's like the old Chuck Norris ones, eh? Like,
It did remind me of Chuck.
Yeah.
All right, I'll get to some fan questions and I'll send you two on your way. No one might have asked this, but what's going on at Broken Hill? What can people go and look forward to? What's the menu looking like?
Yeah, it's great.
Got any theme nights? Like, how's it humming?
Well, yeah, things are going really well. It's more so post game. Like, if it's not too late, I'm always there. Always going for a feed post game.
Right.
So, and it's always
Just to get people down there.
Yeah, well, pre-game and post-game, like it's busy. Like everyone, because it's only 2 stops away from
That's very
Optus.
handy,
It's
yep.
so handy. So you just jump on the bus, stop off at the Brokes. It's like second stop, and you're right at the front of the pub.
Yeah.
Like you couldn't ask for anything better.
Love it.
So pop in, have a beer.
So I'm assuming having a few Saturday
Have
night
Saturday,
games are
yeah.
livid for the Broken Hill.
Yeah, and and without being biased, like I love our steak sandwich, and that's not me being biased at all. I think we do a very very
I'm
good
saying
steak
you
sandwich.
try it, and we'll let them know how it's
Yeah, I reckon that's a fair shout.
Yeah. So, but then if it's not that, then I'm definitely going like a surf and turf, and our scotchies and garlic prawns.
Very nice.
Can't beat that.
You got anything to plug on here? Phone number? Tinder profile?
Nah, nothing right now.
No. Laying dormant? It's all about the grind of the build, right?
I'm keeping low right now.
For now. But geez, when you pop, it's going to be large.
Gosh.
All right.
Is that because you're seeing someone at the moment?
Nah,
you
I'm
don't
not.
want it to get out that you're seeing someone?
Nah, I'm
Yeah.
as single as all can be. But
There were a few questions about your relationship status, so we put that to bed. Of course. Okay. This is I can't even read this. I'm going off my phone, which isn't great. Miller C88 said, who is Yoey choosing to chair him off the field this weekend? Or if you don't get a chair, who would you choose to chair you off the field at your next opportunity?
Oh, well, it'd be my closest footy mates, which would be Gaffy and JD.
Well, Gaffy might not be out there. So
that's
Gov,
yeah, probably Gov JD.
let's pretend that you play more years than those two. Who's next in line on the retirement game? Bang.
Nah. Who's next on the retirement game, you mean?
No, well, let's pretend that Gov and JD have hung them up and you're still humming. Who's next in line to cheer you off?
I'd probably get my little minion, Harley, and Huey. My other little minion.
He got big quads. Can you handle that?
Yeah, I can.
Okay. Just checking. Thoughts on the political and economical state of the world?
Let's go into
That's
this.
that Will Smith
Let's please go into this.
All right, let's not. Let's actually just not.
Because because that's obviously they're trying to be a smart ass and a piss take and think.
No, you know what they're saying, mate? Because Will Smith's kid said that when he got asked. Do you remember that? Jaden Smith said that. He's like trying to act like he was so mature. He's like, let's talk about the political and economic state of the world. Now it's just turned to a meme because he thinks he's so smart. It's
Yeah,
like,
but I do want to talk about
Well, you
it.
two have something to say.
You probably can't put it on the podcast.
Well, then you tell us after, all right? John Dawson. Huey. Hey, mate. Which teammate is smarter than you?
You are pretty smart. What was your ATAR? It was insanely high.
And this is when you
no,
like...
not saying.
It was
Why
high.
not?
Yeah, it was higher than. Oh, just
Higher than 97?
nah.
Nah, but like higher than like
High
for
for
an
a football
average.
player.
Yeah,
High
yeah.
for a football
There you go. I wanted him to say. I just baited him into it.
My old man is a surgeon, so not that there was expectations, but I always had to. I mean, it's like you're probably the same. I guess going to like a good private school, there's expectations. You don't slack off in any area. So not saying that you shouldn't be doing that, and not private schools, but I put a big emphasis on studying.
My brother went to Hale and did non-TE. You reckon mum and dad were wrapped? Did play cricket for the state, but non-TE.
Mate, if you play sport, you kind of get a little bit of an out. You know,
It's true. It's true.
Yeah, that is. Yeah.
So is the answer no one?
No, I'll be honest. I'm just thinking of like left to right. Rubes is pretty smart, like book smart. I don't know about like socially smart. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's kind of, but he's like smart in a witty way. Harley's definitely not. I'm just trying to think to my left of me now. I'll probably say, yeah, Gov, those guys, Dommy.
Is Oscar Allen smarter than you?
There's so many different areas of intelligence. It's like,
Well,
what
there's
area
street
are you talking
smarts or
about?
book smarts.
I'm not talking to street smarts. I'm
Smarts.
talking about if you went on to, what did they do, what's not the Mensa test, just an IQ test, like who would have the bigger IQ?
Oh, I'm sure there'd be a few blokes.
All right.
That's interesting, isn't it? I reckon you should do I reckon you should do an IQ test. I reckon you should do it. I reckon it'd make great content.
Do you reckon the players would want to subject themselves to it though?
Nah, half players wouldn't. They wouldn't want to embarrass themselves.
No.
I think do
And that would
it.
be the funniest part, is everyone having to do it.
Yeah, I think do it, but ask them. Ask them if they're a
Would you rate yourself in that in an IQ test?
Yeah, I would. I think I'd be. I think I'd be okay.
Remember when they put me on an IQ test?
Remember when they put the one on TV? They did the first one, maybe you were a bit young, they did the first one like on television. It was like, do the IQ test with the nation on TV.
On live TV.
Yeah, but a lot of the like the IQ test is completely different to like anything from. I feel like it'd be completely different to anything. It'd be like a mix of knowledge.
Yeah, you have to
history,
grasp things from so many areas.
So many different areas. I feel like you'd have to.
Yeah.
So objective.
Yeah.
Yep. That's
Jack
true.
of all trades, master of none type of thing.
Yeah, I agree. Jack Easter. He's asked a question.
Easty.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's he?
Does Elliot remember doing the petrol pump on Luke as children?
Yes. So for all those at home that are listening, Luke is my little cousin who is playing Waffle Eagles.
How's he going?
He's going good. Yeah, he's like on the fringe at the moment. So
he needs injuries. He's barracking for just the medical department to absolutely the wheels to come off, and then he gets a gun.
yeah.
Where's
so,
he playing the interim?
Tough little bugger though. But my brother and I, we toughened him and all my little cousins up. So we were obviously we're older by a considerable amount, and like initiation in our household was like fighting and like trying to get through. We'd have a gauntlet, my brother and I, and we'd be on the side. We'd be like, all right, Luke, Nick, and even like we'd probably not so much Jess because she didn't
have to do the gauntlet.
My little cousin, she didn't have to do the gauntlet. Nor did like Charlie, my other cousin. Like the girls didn't have to do it. It was just boys, and we'd go upstairs. So
It's very sexist. Yeah.
no, you'd understand because the stuff
The
that we
gauntlet was
did.
pretty hectic.
The gauntlet was hectic, man. So we'd be either side, and it would be like, all right, you're running. So we'd have the second story at the house, and parents weren't up there. So we'd be like, come on, let's go upstairs, and it'd be a full-on like either UFC fighting ring, or it'd be a gauntlet where it was like you've got to run from one wall to the other, and you cannot get hit by the pillow. And my brother and I flinging these pillows at like 100 miles an hour, and we're taking legs out. These kids are landing head first, like on the floor. Like, yeah, it was brutal.
Did
I
someone
played with Luke Yeo when we were kids.
Yeah.
State 12s.
It was brutal.
Oh, yeah? Did someone make you go through the gauntlet, or you just created it to
Well,
inflict the damage?
No, it was passed down because Dad's cousins passed it down to us. Like
okay.
they were kicking footies in our head. I'm pretty sure my uncle Luke's dad kicked a soccer ball at my head when I was like 5 or 6. So it was just, it's just, yeah.
So this explains the bull that is Yeo. Just all these countless hours of Yeo traditions and family
but
initiation.
it wasn't. It was
Scored like
we
4 years
had a very like physical household. Like it was Dad would kick the football up, and it was my brother before like the ball would even hit the ground. It was like my brother and I would just punch on. Before it wasn't even like we'd go for a marking contest, king of the pack, and Dad would kick it up in the air, and my brother and I would just turn and just start fisty pump, like just
Love it.
going at it, and then the ball would bounce, and then we'd play footy.
So what's the petrol pump?
You've never heard of a petrol pump before?
Never
Do you know
heard
what a
of it,
petrol
no.
pump is?
Or you put it into the car and you pump it and then it comes back out. That's what I'm here about.
These
Yeah,
kids
but
are so. These kids these days are so desensitized.
Everyone's got
to
that,
everything
but
like
obviously it's code for something else.
they're so desensitized.
What is the petrol
Okay,
pump?
explain it if you can.
All right, so I'd pin my little cousin down, and
This would be inappropriate.
I'd put I'd pin him down so he couldn't move, and then I'd put my knee on his bicep, and then pump his
that's
arm,
so painful.
and then pump his arm like a petrol pump, and to the point where like he'd be almost crying. Yeah, it was. What looking back on it, it's a bit of bullying in it.
So this is why you can't get a game at the Eagles Waffle right now. He's just got a defective bicep.
He's been petrol pumped his whole childhood.
Yeah. Well, I got the typewriter as a kid, which was another one as
I
well.
know that one.
So you know that one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fang Terrell, did Elijah cut his hair? Talk us through the haircut, mate. Big news.
Yeah. I got some serious feedback from people around me that.
What was it like?
Well, I had really long kind of curtains, and when I went to Bali in the off season, I got a bit of like blonde to it, and so it started to get pretty messy, a bit dirty, and I was like, look, I want to attack this rehab like a professional person, and I wasn't being taken seriously with long curls, and so I got some good feedback when I shaved it. I guess from now on, I'm probably just want to grow it out a little bit, see what I can do. I'm probably past the mullet phase. I'll be honest with you, like I'm not really with the mullets right now, so I'm gonna grow it, and I don't want to end up.
I like
with
it. I like it.
Yeah, I've got good feedback.
Very good. All right. Jess Coops. Who's someone who you would switch lives with for a day?
Can be anyone. Anyone in the world.
Apparently.
Anyone in the world.
That's a good question.
I'd like to switch lives with Elon.
That's a great.
I just would like to understand how he can operate and
His ability to compartmentalize, to go to a meeting for SpaceX,
Yeah,
and then go
yeah.
to a meeting to Tesla.
Exactly what I
How
was
do you,
thinking.
within 5 minutes,
Yeah.
completely different realms,
But-
completely different technology.
Yeah, but then on top of that though, like you can see him, like he's just such an intellect. Like he gets asked a question about one of the rockets and why these things and the propellant and stuff like that and why it isn't working. And then in this interview, like in his own head, he's solved the problem.
Yeah, I watched that video.
You seen that?
And then the interviewer actually asked him something. He goes, "Oh yeah, you've seen that one?"
Yeah.
And he's like, and he actually works out with the interview. He goes, "I'm going to do that."
Yeah, he's like, you know what? Yeah, no, that makes
makes
sense.
sense, yeah.
That makes sense. It's like
So good.
in the interview, he's just solved this problem that's just like, and he's not even like he's just so intellectual.
Yeah,
He's
I love
like
Elon.
just on
I'm a
another
big
level.
Elon
Like,
guy.
yeah.
Interesting.
So I'd like to just see how he operates in that department.
Nice. Unlock something there. Boys, that brings us to the end of the podcast.
Been a pleasure.
Yeah.
I think that was a fantastic tandem. You two have clearly got a connection off field. And I think every single Eagles fan is looking forward to it sparking on field. So I appreciate your time.
Yeah.
And go well, go forward.
Thanks.